From the heart of the Commonwealth, this is WGMC, TV3, Worcester.
WGMC TV3 presents College Basketball 1996. Live this afternoon from Laska Gymnasium at Assumption College, the Assumption Greyhounds host the Quinnipiac. Hey, stumbling over that one. What the heck? It's the second part of a doubleheader, Ernie, and it's becoming a long day, but we should have a good one here with the men, all laughing aside. And welcome to the debut of Serge DeBarry on Channel 3 as the head coach for Assumption.
Hey, it's good to see him here because he's no stranger to the program. Let's face it, he was a player here, had some MVP honors. Also, he was an assistant coach here. Now he's become the head coach. He brought 5 wins this year, which is 4 more than last year. So they're doing a lot of good things this year.
Unfortunately, today for Assumption, they will be without their star player, Dan Marshall. He is out of this game.
I look forward to Dan Marshall. We've been covering Dan Marshall over the few years, but it seems as though he can't put in a complete season. So now they're going to have to go a little bit deeper and see if they can get something out of Kurt Hold. He brings in a big 6'10" presence, so they're looking for some big stuff out of him.
And Dan is out today with a broken nose. When they don't have Marshall, they look to other guys like Hold and Shaughnessy Rice and Brett Krause who can shoot the ball.
That's right. They're going to go deep and see what the big people can contribute, because last time out, the big people were the key to Quinnipiac.
Assumption and Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac, forget it. The tip-off. It's next here on Channel 3.
Every night we report on the news that affects you.
Newswatch 3, Worcester County's only local news.
News about your community without the sensationalism.
Newswatch 3 live at 6:30 and now live at 10.
Our 10 o'clock news is up to date, late-breaking information.
We'll have the stories that will be in the paper the next day.
The award-winning Newswatch 3, 6:30 and 10, live on WGMC TV3.
When I was young, I discovered music and practiced to become a musician. Later, I joined the Navy and became an officer and learned about discipline and teamwork and doing your best. Then playing pro ball, the dream of a lifetime. These are the things I love. These are my choices. But none of them would have come true if I hadn't made an important decision a long time ago. I don't do drugs. That's what's worked for me. Think about it.
Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 as Fallon Healthcare System presents For Your Health on WGMC TV3. For Your Health explores healthcare issues that affect you most, from planning nutritious meals to learning the latest cancer treatments. In addition, Fallon and the Telegram and Gazette are sponsoring a monthly For Your Health column to provide you with updated health information. And look for some exciting health promotions at the Fallon display located in the Worcester Common Fashion Outlet. For Your Health, Wednesday nights at 8 on WGMC TV3 and Mondays in the Telegram and Gazette.
Ducks, geese, swans, they're the barometers of our health. They need plenty of clean air and water, just like we do. But when they start to disappear, we know our environment is in danger, and so are we. Ducks Unlimited can bring them back by restoring their habitat. Join Ducks Unlimited. Protecting waterfowl protects us all.
set for action. The men's game here at Alaska Gymnasium, Assumption and Quinnipiac. The Hounds coming in with 5 wins so far this season. As you mentioned, Ernie, that's much better than last season. They only had 1. They're 5-13, 2-8 in the conference. And Quinnipiac, though, is yet to win a conference game, and Assumption has already beaten the Braves once this season. So a chance to do it again this afternoon.
Well, this is a building year, as they say, and you can see Sean Doherty over there, too. He's a product here in Worcester as well, and then I'm looking forward to seeing a good contest today between Quinnipiac. I got that in.
Quinnipiac, 3-14 overall, 0-9 in the conference, and we are ready to jump it up. Ryan Brown, the big man, to do it for Quinnipiac, and it is Melvin Miller, a good leaper for Assumption. Dan Marshall, the regular center, out of the game with a broken nose today. Quinnipiac controlling. That's number 32, Nick Liapis.
Going to really test you for the names today, John, because there's some interesting ones that are here.
First foul of the basketball game. It was John Boulogne taking it strong to the hole, and we'll get a foul on the Hounds.
Well, the big people are starting to muscle up early, and as you can see, Ryan Brown, the sophomore from Watertown, Connecticut, was going to the basket, trying to clear some space out of there, and created a foul.
Brown makes the first free throw, 1-0 Quinnipiac on the season. Ryan Brown, 74% from the stripe.
Well, they're really happy with Brown. He just had 18 points versus Stonehill, his season high. And they're saying that he needs a little bit of work, but it seemed like he was getting the job done right now.
Steve St. Martin running the point for Assumption. Quite an inspirational story. He competes with a heart condition. We'll hear more about it in an interview coming up at halftime. Shaughnessy Rice, the senior, short on the jumper. Rebound, though, Melvin Miller.
Well, they had to move Shaughnessy Rice up due to the Dan Marshall replacement or absence.
Loose ball picked off by Quinnipiac. Here's Liapis in the backcourt being pressured by St. Martin, and a foul.
St. Martin out of Hyde Park, Mass, with the Catholic Memorial, which I'm very familiar with. And, he's a history education major, and he's been a story, and I'm looking forward to that halftime story with him. And involved with his health, and he's one of the key players for this team, and if he goes off to the bench, the team is really affected by his play, by his absence.
Is Andrew McKenzie, left-handed player, driving, but has it blocked by Kurt Hole, the big man.
It's good to see Kurt Hold out there, the sophomore center, 6'10" from Durban. He's from South Africa, and Kurt comes in immediately to replace Dan, and they've been working with him as well, and he's come along, and they're looking for him to improve on his game, but they're really pleased with his game as a present.
Great steal by St. Martin, all alone for the lay-in, make it 2-2.
St. Martin, I'm telling you, he's going to be an exciting player here at Assumption. He brings a lot of bright spots to the team. This is courage for being on the floor.
Only a sophomore. He is a transfer. Played basketball at Thomas College up in Maine.
They really like him here, and he's really inspiring. Assumption's out in the extended 2-3 zone.
Boulogne fakes the jumper, now takes one and buries it. 4-2 Quinnipiac.
Nice shot there. John Boulogne, a senior forward, 6'6", Farmington, Connecticut. Went to St. Thomas More, which is a powerhouse high school in Connecticut.
Hold with the turnaround, and we are tied up.
Kurt Hole looking really good. You probably wouldn't see as much as that last year as you see this year, but he's really been working on his inside play, and he's really stepped up to the plate.
Cross-court pass. Liapis beyond the arc now in the corner. Boulogne thinks about it. But reset the offense, though. 18 on the shot clock.
Quinnipiac being really patient on offense as Assumption has that extension on that zone. Got to get out to the three-point shooters.
For Markey. Cannot connect in the three. It's 4-4. Assumption looking for its first lead of the afternoon. Here's Rice to Drew Cooper from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes! Never played high school basketball, but boy, is he a talent. Second on the team in scoring. 15-9 a game, and the leading scorer in the lineup today with Marshall out with a broken nose.
Well, he's definitely a diamond in the rough and a big surprise for this team. No high school basketball, and able to step in and perform like this. You know, DeBarge is really happy about that.
St. Martin swings to the hold. On the wing, back to Shaughnessy Rice. Quick ball movement, Cooper again. Cannot get the bounce, out of bounds to Quinnipiac. 16:47 on the clock, 7-4. Assumption with the lead thanks to a Drew Cooper three-pointer.
Well, that's good. A good job by Assumption. Assumption is getting out at the ball, and they're moving the ball around the perimeter and looking inside for the big people, and they also are crashing the offensive glass as well.
Rich Johnson in the game now for Quinnipiac, wearing number 24. He's from Massachusetts, Orleans, Mass. Jump shot rims out from Boulogne, rebound to the Hounds.
Assumption is still extending that zone, getting out there to the three-point land, because they know that Quinnipiac can hit those. But also they're protecting the inside basket as well.
Rice from 18. Oh, that's for Shaughnessy. 5-point edge for Assumption.
Hey, we saw him here last year, and we know that Shaughnessy can light it up. And they don't give him the green light. Don't wake him up early, because he can get it going.
Everybody in the starting lineup has scored for the Hounds, except Melvin Miller so far. Nice balance, 9-4.
The zone is really extended out there. Look how far the zone goes out there. They're going, it's almost like a man-to-man fake zone matchup.
Missed shot from Brown. Second try, doesn't go. Brown the follow. No. Assumption can't give up those second chances, no. Rice in transition. Spin move right over Johnson. What a pretty move. Timeout taken by Quinnipiac. They're down 11-4, 15:29 to play in the first half.
Hi, Mom. You look great. Hi, honey. I feel great. Thanks to Dr. Gray. Thank you for wearing your medical alert bracelet. You know, without it, we wouldn't have known of her heart condition. Or her medications, right, Mom? I always wear it. Where's my medical alert bracelet? Don't worry, here it is. We wouldn't let you leave without it. If you have a medical condition or take prescription medications, Medical Alert could save your life. Call now for free information.
A 9-zip Assumption run as they've taken an 11-4 lead, and Quinnipiac will work with it down 7.
Well, they did a couple of wholesale changes after that.
McKenzie to the hole. He is fouled. He was the Northeast 10 Freshman of the Week last week with 24 points versus Stonehill. He's headed to the line. Let's take a peek at Shaughnessy Rice getting 2 on the break.
Well, it all starts off the fast break. They get it up to Shaughnessy. Look at this. Snap, crackle, pop. He turns around, all Rice, all alone, and you get 2.
Andrew McKenzie, the freshman guard, 6'3", 185, makes the first free throw. The lead is down to a half dozen, 11-5.
Well, 6 of Quinnipiac's top 8 players are either first or second-year players, and due to the inexperience of their group performance, they've been inconsistent this season. And they're still searching for a conference win. They're 0-9 in the Northeast 10.
Assumption with 2 conference wins, one of them over the Braves. Miller the dribble, and then he goes up with it and gets fouled. 14:58 on the clock as Miller heads to the line. In the first game this afternoon, if you weren't with us, the women from Assumption, the Lady Hounds, just 1 point shy of the century mark as they beat the Quinnipiac Braves 99-56, just one big whooping in the opener today.
Yeah, they're looking to continue the streak here as the men Hound want to come out here with a big win as well.
Miller misses the free throw. Early field goal numbers. Assumption 5 of 8 now. Quinnipiac just 1 of 7 there at Cole and down a handful.
Well, Melvin averages about 10 points, 4 rebounds, and it's been noted that when he gets going, the team seems to follow. So I'd like to see him get off today.
Gets 1 of 2. Every starter has now scored for Assumption. They lead it by 6.
Assumption doing a good job getting out in three-point land.
Kenzie's dish to no one. Turnover. And Assumption gets it back. 3 turnovers now for the Braves. Liavis is back in as McKenzie takes the seat. Also in the game, McKinley Sprawling, the big guy, 6'7", 230 in the middle.
Quinnipiac really...
Melvin took a travel as he backpedaled.
Yeah, Quinnipiac's doing a good job by packing the zone. They want to see how Assumption's going to handle that type of defense. They want to see them prove that they can shoot the outside jumper consistently. And until then, they really won't get out there. Pressure the jump shooters. But on the other hand, Assumption is extending their zone.
Johnson to the hole, offensive foul though, as Melvin Miller had position.
Offensive foul called on
Melvin Miller doing a good heads-up play on this team. Takes off the baseline, takes it all the way out, and does a good job of getting in position.
Timeout on the floor, 14-12 to play. It's the home team leading 12-6 from Alaska Gymnasium. That was the first foul on Johnson, the second team foul on Quinnipiac. So far, the Hounds looking pretty solid with the 6-point edge and getting a lot of different players to chip in. 1 point from Melvin Miller, 3 for Drew Cooper, a big three-pointer. Shaughnessy Rice with 4, Kurt Holt with 2, and Steve St. Martin with 2. We should mention that St. Martin has to go to the bench every once in a while, have his heart rate monitored by team trainers. We mentioned he has an irregular heartbeat, or a heartbeat that tends to beat too fast on occasion.
Well, that's true, because what they found out that they have to monitor him. They got to keep close concentration on finding out what's going on with him, and he's a big factor on this team.
At halftime, we'll talk with him. Also, halftime stats in the first half highlights. And so far, most of the highlights were the Hounds.
Well, so far, you're absolutely right, because Melvin Miller is doing a good job, and that was a good job that he did on the baseline. And this is a whole new team, a different team that we saw from before, and this is the head coach in his first year with Assumption, and he's doing a good job.
Whole new team and a whole new coach, and yes, some of those 5 wins this season have come against some pretty weak opponents. Serge sort of scheduled some cupcakes just to boost the confidence of this team, but nothing wrong with that after 2 tough seasons and only 1 loss.
No, not at all.
1 win, I should say.
And well, you're absolutely right. Now, Quinnipiac came out in a 1-2-2 full court pressure zone, and now they went back into a zone. And they're extending their zone, but they're not really getting out there as much. They want to see if they can prove to shoot the shot.
Miller with a 3, Assumption's second of the afternoon. It's 15-6.
His season high was 24 points against St. Mike's. And he seems to be a producer for this team.
Quinnipiac trying to get some momentum on offense, and they do drop 2 home. Pat Passion, the junior forward, 6'6" in the game, and he gets a deuce, 15-8.
Plays the wing. That time he was able to penetrate down the middle.
Shaughnessy missing from 3, big rebound. Sprawling.
That's a situation that could early hurt Assumption by resulting to just outside shots. They're playing right into Quinnipiac's strategy. That is the force of Assumption to shoot from the outside.
A lot of motion on the Quinnipiac offense.
Well, they changed up the defense that time. They're more into the man-to-man pressure.
Sprawling can't handle it. St. Martin feeds ahead to Shaughnessy Rice. 12:44 remaining in the first half.
Well, the Braves had to adjust to that quick pressure there.
St. Martin gets it back. Cross court, Rice spotting up from 3.
He can do that.
Tip followed by Cooper, doesn't go. Nice try though. Lead pass and all alone for 2. But the foul before the bucket can drop in. Assumption getting back and forcing the foul was Liavis.
Yeah, Jason Shuvar streaking back, trying to take out Nick. That's what you have to do. Don't give them the easy layup. Make them pay. Make them earn it at the line. Total different team from what we saw last year for the Assumption. Last year was really going quick with the 3-point shots, and the offense was a little bit on the fast break side. We're seeing a different team this year.
Liavis, a good free throw shooter at 79%, makes the first one. Looking for his second point of the day, gets it, 15-10.
Well, Liapis is in the run the motion offense, and he doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he's in there right now in the early going.
And Drew Larrier also in there, number 33 for Assumption. Melvin Miller on the bench taking a breather. Brett Krause also in there. He wears number 32, a very good outside shooter. Larrier from the corner. A little bit long. Shaughnessy Rice the rebound. Sneaking underneath to get it.
Shaughnessy, one of those slashing players, is able to get the high rebound off the weak side. Assumption doing a good job by being patient, reloading the offense.
Larrier baseline. Jumper off the mark. Scramble for it on the floor. And it's jump ball possession to Assumption.
Drew Cooper not afraid to get on the floor, the freshman from Louisville, Kentucky.
Substitution for the Hounds. Kurt Holt leading the game. And Jeff Madonna is into the game, the sophomore. He's a newcomer to the team.
Also, I noticed over there too, John, did the Hounds swap benches this year as well?
I think they've been over there as far as I know. They've swapped coaches, that's for sure. And I guess that bench swap came in the middle of last season, trying to perhaps break some superstition they had about a bad bench.
Good slashing cut, Larry.
Can't finish, though. Quinnipiac looking to cut into a 5-point edge. Behind the back, nice move. Just sprawling. Yes, and the foul. Pretty play. Pretty fancy stuff from Liapis, point guard.
Good job by McKinley sprawling by staying with it. Here's the fast break. Little dipsy-do. And sprawling McKinley finishes off strong in the foul.
Great first name, McKinley. McKinley sprawling at the stripe, looking to complete the three-point play. Not a great free throw shooter at 53%.
And McKinley wasn't really expected to get playing time as well, but it seems as though the Braves are going deep in the bench, trying to experiment a little bit, trying to get everybody in the ball game.
Travel inside by Cooper.
Well, McKenzie has started all last week's consecutive games, and he's made most of his time in that 86-83 loss to Merrimack. He netted a team high at 23 points.
Here's Liapis. Krause in his face, feeds inside.
Oh, nice up fake.
No good. Loose ball on the floor. Adam Jones battling for it. Then McKenzie pops. That's long. Ripped down by Cooper, and Cooper is fouled by Brown.
Cooper's in there hanging and trying to keep the ball alive on the boards, and that's his job, is to get in there and slash. Ryan Brown trying to keep it alive. His shot releases, and everyone's clearing house down there. He's trying to keep the ball alive for the Braves. He got caught with the foul.
First two times these teams met back on the 15th of January. Assumption won at 80-70. It's a three-point game right now, and a foul coming up on the Hounds after the miss. 10:26 to play, 15-12. Adam Jones will pick up the foul, his first personal, and team foul number 6 on the Hounds.
Well, the accounting major is in there, and he's a senior, and he's in there to slash and also keep the boards alive. And he shows a big frame presence out there for Assumption.
Melvin Miller in the game. Cooper to the bench. Liapis.
The Braves seem to get their opportunities, but for some reason they're just not falling in. And they slowly but surely creeping back. And Assumption's going to have to start getting on the board, producing some points.
Madonna the rebound. Crazy follow, though, does not go. Whistle, foul, and it'll go against Assumption.
Assumption is really scrambling right now. It just seems as though there's like a little rattling on the offense there. There's Ryan Brown trying to deflect the shot, and there's a push-off down below by Adam Jones.
And with 9:52 still to play in the half, it is the bonus situation for Quinnipiac. They're at the line 1-1. McKenzie to give it a shot.
McKenzie at the line will be attempting 1-1.
He'll get a second. 15-13 now. McKenzie with 3 points. both of them. Light backcourt pressure from the Braves. Jones breaking it to Krause. Now they swing it to Miller.
Then known to come out, switch up the defenses.
And as Jones takes it to the hoop, he will draw the foul. Quinnipiac right now on an 8-point run. They were down 15-6. All of a sudden, it's 15-14.
Well, they creep back because it seems as though Assumption was just relying on the outside jumper, and you have to credit the Braves. The Braves have been packing the zone down there, and no one's really been able to penetrate down in that zone. And that's why they've been able to come back, and that's why they're down 1.
Fouling replaces Brown for Quinnipiac.
Third hold back in the game as Jeff Madonna leaves, and
Holden St.
McKinley
Mark
Sprawling is back in.
replace Laurier and Madonna.
For Quinnipiac, with Ryan Brown taking a seat. Also in the game, Steve St. Martin, as Drew Laurier goes to the bench, and Shaughnessy Rice also leaving the game. At the moment, it's Miller, Jones, St. Martin, Hold, and Krause for Assumption. Jones getting a second free throw. His team up 2. And Adam has a pair now, 17-14.
Adam doing a good job. His high was 8 points against Quinnipiac, and he had 7 points his other high versus Bentley. He's averaging about 8 or 9 points a game. Assumption changed up their defenses. Going to extend back into the zone again. Last time out, they were man-to-man.
Lloyd working for 2, 17-16.
Good job by John, 6'6" senior, the up fake. He's one of 2 returning starters from last year. He's a 5th-year senior, actually. Ranked 4th on the club in scoring last season, about 10 points a game.
St. Martin on the miss. Johnson gets the rebound. Here we go. Transition in the corner. Now the jumper from the elbow. Count it for Joe Trimarchi. He's a good shooter in this team. First points of the night for him, though.
That's right. He fills up the 3 position, and he returns to the starting lineup, too. He's a southpaw. He's a threat from behind the 3-point line. That time, he moved in a little bit and hit it around the free throw line. And the Braves have become a presence here in the Hound Pound.
They lead 18-17. Hold puts Assumption back ahead. Kurt has 4.
Good job by Kurt Hold. They needed some presence down low, and that time he's able to follow up and keep the boards alive to tap home 2.
Tremarchi, he's feeling it. No good, though. Boulogne the rebound in the paint. Turnaround. Rolls home. 20-19.
He's starting to get into his own into his zone. He shot 48% from the floor, and he averaged about 4 points a game, 4 rebounds a game. Pace has definitely changed between these 2 teams. Assumption find themselves, I think, struggling a little bit on offense, trying to get a plan going, and Quinnipiac just changed from a zone. Now they're into a man-to-man pressure.
St. Martin gets it back from Hall. Buries the 13-footer.
There you go. St. Martin's coming up. Sophomore guard. They needed that 2 right there. The Braves are just going to go down and pack it, try to make them beat them from the outside.
Sprawling over Hall. That's short. Good presence by Kurt Hall.
Assumption wants to try to run too. See what they got. Can't force the issue though.
These fall out of bounds. They're half court. The Hounds to keep it. 28 on the shot clock. 7:01 in the game clock. 21-20 Assumption.
Both teams are working hard out there. With the absence of Dan Marshall, it seems as though it's really hurting the inside presence for this team.
Officials timeout. 1-point lead for the Hounds. You're watching college basketball on Channel 3.
Hi, I'm Yakov Smirnov. When I was growing up in Russia, I knew about American Eagle. It was a symbol of freedom. It flew anywhere it wanted. Now, eagles and their natural habitat is being endangered. Let's save American freedom. For more information about how to help save the eagles, call the National Foundation to Protect American Eagles 1-800-2-EAGLES. Thank you.
Give and go play on this one. St. Martin to hold and back to St. Martin for the jumper.
Hey, this is some good ball movement right here, and that's what's been their success for the first half, is getting that good ball movement. It seems as though it keeps the Braves on their heels. If they can continue to do that, they can probably keep the lead going.
21-20, they do lead it by 1 right now, and you mentioned the absence of Danny Marshall out with a broken nose. He is a big loss, averaging 16.2 a game, but here's a guy who just can't seem to stay healthy in his whole career.
Well, each year we seem as though we come in here and he's either on the bench or in a suit, and he just, I think he's on the all-injured team.
The all-injury team. Dan Marshall, your captain. Assumption had a 13-2 run on this game, but Quinnipiac came back with a 12-2 run. Currently 21-20 Hounds, 5 lead changes, 2 ties so far in a very close game.
So far so good, and
Miller extends the lead to 3. He's leading the Hounds with 6 points. St. Martin with 4, Rice and Hold also with 4.
that was a good spot-up jumper by Miller, able to get into the seams of the zone, create some offense for himself.
On the floor! And we'll get a reach and foul on Adam Jones as Todd Gibbs in the game got the pass inside. Gibbs forward at 6'5", 205.
Adam Jones is last year averaged about 3 points a game, and his tops was 10 points versus AIC and 8 versus the same team, Quinnipiac. And here he comes over on the baseline, creating a foul.
Jones will take a seat. They report him as having 4 fouls on the PA system. That's quite a lot. 6:29 remaining. He's in jeopardy of fouling out. If that is in fact the case, 4 fouls on Adams Jones. His first shot is missed by Gibbs, but going right back. Catch you sleeping there.
That's a lot of fouls for the first half.
Boulogne from 3, and it's not any good, but the Braves grab the rebound near travel.
The Braves are right now commanding on the offense.
Boulogne still with it. Try to get the shot off, and he does. And St. Martin rips down the board. Here comes Steve running. Rice, 3-pointer. Long
shot.
Yes.
Rice crackling and popping from the three-point land. They're going to need some more three-point performances out of him. He's one of their top three-point shooters, along with St. Martin.
Liafis to Gavin Reese, baseline jumper. No. Gibbs second chance. He's blocked him the way up, out of bounds. Quinnipiac to keep it.
How to get back in Todd Gibbs' hands? The freshman forward, 6'5" from Waterford, New York, comes in, kept the ball alive, and got lucky and went up, but he got blocked by Jones there. Look at all the action underneath there. The Braves is just taking over the offensive side against Assumption on that series.
Assumption in transition after the rebound. Rice past the last minute. Now Cooper straight away. Off the rim. Rice trying to save it. Volleyball play, and he steps out.
There you go. Assumption's fighting. Right now, the shot seems as though it's going a little too quick for them. Take some time off the clock. Take your time, set up an offense. The fast break's not there, pull it out. Run a half-court offense. Right now, the shot seems as though it's going kind of quick for Assumption.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play. Liafis from 3. Buries it, make it 26-23 as they got the lead in half.
Well, you can't get Liafis going. Because Liafis can definitely fill it up.
Jump ball call, possession 2. Quinnipiac, they're down 3 with 4:52 to play, and another crack at cutting into the Hound edge.
Well, both teams don't score a lot of points, as we all know, and right now is a situation where Quinnipiac is happy where they are. They want to stay nice and close to the Hounds, and they got a chance to break this open.
Another three-point try is just off the mark. Here's Rice in transition. Took an extra step.
Making a lot of decisions out there. He had the horses with him, had a couple of players on the left side or right side, and big decision here to say, where should I go, to the left? Should I go to the right? Why not do a little bit of everything? But the ball gets turned over. Good reaching by Nick Liapis to create the turnover.
And we'll get a foul down near the baseline as Troy Markey worked with it. Bonus situation, so it'll be a 1-and-1 shooting for Joe Trimarchi.
Seems as though the Braves are just hanging around, keeping the ball game close. And Assumption hasn't been really able to break out.
St. Martin with his second foul. Trimarchi makes it a 2-point game, and he gets a second as you take a look at Dan Marshall. Boy, does Assumption wish he was in the mix today. With a broken nose. I know a lot of times players will play with a face mask guarding their nose, but I guess apparently Dan's injury is pretty severe and he'll have to miss the game today.
I think I can recall a couple of years ago he did have a face mask on.
He's had every injury just about A to Z.
And actually that accident happened to take place last Thursday, and this coming Monday is when they're going to go in and see if they can correct the situation. Who says basketball is not a contact sport?
Cooper from the corner. He gets three back.
There you go. Cooper from the corner pocket with the three. From Louisville, Kentucky.
Drew with 6 points. Both of them on 3-point shots.
Yeah, he graduated from high school. He didn't play, but he's playing here.
And a leaning shot is good by Andrew McKenzie. 29-27, Assumption up by 2.
Andrew, he's a starter from Queensbury, New York.
Cooper has this three attempt blocked by Tremarchi, but kept alive. St. Martin in the paint. Yes!
That's a sweet jumper right there. Good effort. You have to credit Kurt Hold for keeping the ball alive on the offensive end to allow St. Martin to drill the two.
And a travel before the bucket. Todd Gibbs taking some steps, and with 3:14 to play, Assumption gets it back up 4.
You can just feel the presence of a difference in this ball team compared to yesteryears. Seems as though they're under a lot of control. A lot more this year than they were before.
We got a foul on Patchen. 5 team fouls now. Non-shooting situation still for the Hounds. 3:07 and a half. Gibbs going to the bench as Boulogne comes back in. Also sprawling in the game now. St. Martin running out of time, gets it to the right.
Assumption being real cool on offense as the Braves go back into the man-to-man pressure. And look how they collapse in the paint when the big man gets the ball.
Holt beats the double team but can't get it to fall. Quinnipiac now.
Both teams are shutting each other down pretty good when they try to get the fast break going.
Try Markey the three. The lefty. And call it a 2-pointer, 31-29. He was on the line.
Well, last time out, he had 13 points. Against Assumption, he was 3 for 8 from 3-point range.
And now they give him a 3-pointer, make it 31-30.
That's on Quinnipiac number 32. Iaphos, his first, the 6th team foul.
He can definitely do it from the outside. He returns in the starting lineup this year. He plays the 3 position. Southpaw is keeping the Braves close to the Hounds. Shoots about 38% from 3-point land. Scored a career high 16 points versus Sacred Heart and Bryant.
And he also plays for the baseball team, so good all-around athlete. Assumption ahead of this game by 1, but they can't let Quinnipiac continue to go to the line as much as they have. The Braves are 10 of 12. Assumption with only 4 attempts at 3 of 4. And some confusion at half court. Coach Serge DeBarry's talking it over with the officials.
Showing a big presence over there, too. And it seems as though when Assumption starts to get a nice roll going, all of a sudden the Quinnipiac seems to come back, chip away the lead. At one time they were up a couple of points, but Assumption regained the lead. And the Braves are staying real close, not allowing Assumption to get a large lead. trying to get in some motion offense. Trying to break down the man-to-man pressure that the Braves are applying.
Rice just inside the stripe. Yes, two-pointer for Shaughnessy.
He's at right spot. He's known to do that, and they're still having troubles trying to get out to him.
Shaughnessy has 9. Both teams in the bonus for the rest of the half. Boulogne trying to save it out of bounds off of Boulogne, and Assumption will get it. 2:01 to play.
But Drew Larry, the senior from Dix Hills, New York, got over there. 6'2", 200. Clearing some presence out there. Quinnipiac right now going full court with the man-to-man press now. St. Martin does a great job.
Finds Cooper.
Created a lot of attention, went coast to coast and found Cooper on the baseline. Cooper took advantage of it and laid it off the glass. Good job by St. Martin.
Plan to be together for quite a while. St. Martin only a sophomore, Cooper just a freshman.
St. Martin, when he gets out there, he makes things happen. Look how aggressive he is out there. He'll stick with you.
Sprawling in trouble, and we'll get a whistle in a turnover situation.
McKinsey's having some, McKinley having a tough time trying to get open. But you have to credit Assumption by applying that tough pressure down there. They're not giving the Braves anything easy.
Derek Thompson into the game out of Warwick, Rhode Island, the junior guard. He'll run the point. Minute 18 to play. Thompson from 3 just in the game. He's feeling it. And you got it, you got it.
You got it. 5'10" junior, Derek Thompson from Warwick, Rhode Island. They're starting to increase the lead now. Nice to go into halftime with at least 8 or 10 up.
Ball on the floor before the shot. Larry. Quinnipiac took it to the hole. Let's take a look at the replay.
Larry got caught with that one. Coming from behind with the reach in. Probably not a smart foul at that point, at that juncture.
You're right, because it's the 10th team foul, so they will get 2 shots.
That's right, it's not a very good foul, especially with less than a minute to go. You stopped the clock, created a foul, and you put the guy at the line to score 2.
Bonus for the Braves. They're down 8. Boulogne gets it, and John now has 7. Make it 8. 38-32.
Well, the 50th senior is throwing some points on the board just before half. The returning starter.
Rice finds himself alone. Says, I'm going to shoot it.
They haven't found the answer for Rice yet. He's been all over the court.
Shaughnessy leading the Hounds with 11 points.
Some big 11 points. Here's McKinley on the base.
Rice right around his man, dishes Larrier, jumps it. Yes!
You gotta like that. Rice is creating offense for the Hounds.
And with 12 seconds to go in the half, Assumption is biggest lead of the first 20 minutes, 42-32.
And he's getting a little help from his friends as Assumption extends the zone, and hopefully they don't foul to stop the clock. Ooh, but that was a nasty shot.
Malloy near the buzzer. He cuts it down to 8, and he finishes with 10 in the first half, keeping the Braves in it. 42-34. The first half is in the books. The second half still to be played here on Channel 3. We're at the half, and coming up here at the break, we will speak with Steve St. Martin, the inspirational sophomore for Assumption with the heart condition. We'll check in with Steve. Up next, also, first half highlights and stats on the way. Keep it right here on Channel 3.
Every night we report on the news that affects you.
Newswatch 3, Worcester County's only local news.
News about your community without the sensationalism.
Newswatch 3 live at 6:30 and now live at 10.
Our 10 o'clock news is up to date, late-breaking information.
We'll have the stories that will be in the paper the next day.
The award-winning Newswatch 3, 6:30 and 10, live on WGMC TV3.
Why care about the First Amendment? Because it gives all of us the right to express our opinions. Should school newspapers ever be censored? Do T-shirts have freedom of speech? What about prayer in public schools? And music? Should it carry a warning label? The First Amendment. Think about it. Talk about it. Because talking about the First Amendment means talking about freedom. For a free poster on your rights, call 1-800-853-3223.
What's for dinner? It's pickled herring, smoked salmon, and liver paste.
Your family can be part of a cross-cultural exchange by hosting a foreign exchange student. It's a chance for the youth of today to form international friendships and help make way for a peaceful global tomorrow.
Don't forget the sign.
As a host family, you'll provide students with room and board and a warm family environment. An introduction to new customs will enrich your family life and create memories to last a lifetime. You'll begin an adventure when you open your home and your hearts to a foreign exchange student. Become part of a global community. Make friends with the world. One friendship at a time.
Guess what's for dinner? Pizza?
American Intercultural Student Exchange. Call toll-free 1-800-SIBLING.
We're at halftime of this afternoon's game between Assumption and Quinnipiac, and you heard us talk about it in the first half. There's quite a special player on the Hounds this season, and he's with us right now. Steve St. Martin, a sophomore guard forward. He says he's very versatile, and he's very amazing because he continues to play with a heart condition. Steve, first of all, you're very inspirational. It's so nice to meet you. And second of all, just give us some of the details of what, on the surface, looks like a very frightening condition.
Throughout high school, I had heart problems. My heart would rapidly beat. And it came into my freshman year in college. I collapsed in the middle of a game, and I was taken to the hospital. And they diagnosed me with AV nodal reentrant tachycardia, where it's kind of hard to describe. It's not with your blood, it's what makes your heart go, with your electrodes. And my heart would continually beat really fast with rapid heartbeat. And so I needed a couple surgeries to correct it. They thought the first one would do it, and obviously I had some more episodes after that first one, so I had another one last February. And now, as a result of that surgery, I have a phenomenon called wanky bark, where your heart will drop beats, like if you're looking at a screen and you can see the P waves, T waves beating, and all of a sudden just go flatline and then it'll beat again. And that causes certain symptoms to happen where I get dizziness, lightheadedness, like left arm numbness, and chest pain, and so it's kind of scary. It is kind of scary, but.
Now, your last surgery was a year ago this month in February, and it seems like you have the condition in control now, but still, what goes through your mind every time you step on the court? And tell us about how you have to come out of the game and have your heart rate monitored, too.
Yeah, February's been a bad month, but hopefully we can change things around. Every time I step on the court, man, the first thing I touch the ground, kiss my fingers, and point up to God, thank Him that there's another day I get to play basketball. It's difficult. I mean, I haven't played in a while. With the condition, I've been out for a while. Competitive basketball, college competitive basketball. So I'm trying to get my wind back. And like I said, I cut him out of the game. Trainer's been phenomenal. She measures my heart rate, my blood pressure, and also administers oxygen. I have to have oxygen with me, too. So we kind of try to keep a log of what happens, so we can send the cardiologist. And I'm kind of a first player to ever have this type of situation. They don't really know athletes with this type of situation. So what I'm doing is keeping a log for the next guy who has it. They can study it and say, well, this happened to him, so we can, maybe read off my diary, my logbook.
You mentioned having a collapse when you were playing at Thomas College up in Maine. That has to be frightening in itself. Take us through that, and also, especially for local sports fans around here, with the case of Reggie Lewis and some of the questions surrounding Marcus Camby, the thought of somebody collapsing on a basketball court is extremely disturbing, I think.
Yeah, It was my freshman year. We were playing Westbrook College, and they were ranked 13th in the country and 9th in New England. And we was at home. You know, it was good fan support. We were playing, and we were down by about 8 in the second half, and I started having my rapid heartbeat, which before was diagnosed. So I came out of the game, which I usually do. I sit down for a minute or two just to collect my, my breath and get my heart rate back down. And next thing you know, we're down by 16. We started losing really bad, so I checked myself in probably prematurely. Again, I didn't know of the circumstances what I had. And a couple plays later, I dished our center, and he got fouled. And as I was walking back towards half court, just fell right down on my knees, collapsed. And next thing you know, I'm on the bench, and the trainer's taking me to the hospital. And it was quite a scary time. You could mention Reggie Lewis, Hank Gaz. I mean, that was just right after the Reggie Lewis incident. So I'm going through my mind. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm in the hospital. I didn't know if I was live or die.
Now, hearing that story, it makes your personal story even more amazing. And what a success story it's been so far at Assumption. And I read some comments where you said you've received great support from the staff here and the teammates that you have on the team. That must be very important.
I can't say enough about the people around here. They've just been amazing. I mean, to put up with something the way they had to put up, I mean, every extra effort they give out is phenomenal. I mean, support from the guys on the team have been great, because it's tough to see someone, I start and, I try to play a long time, and, I can't always practice every day. I got to sit out for a while. I mean, and these guys have been supportive. I haven't had a negative comment. No one's said anything bad. And, the trainers, again, Susie Laskowitz, our trainer, has been phenomenal, and the whole training staff and our coaches, everybody, the athletic director all the way down has to put up with this, and including the teachers. I have to miss class to go to the hospital sometimes, and, I mean, they've just been phenomenal. I can't say much about them. I can't say much more. I don't even know what to say. It strikes me that the much support I have. It's unbelievable.
And with all that you've overcome, I guess it's no surprise that you play very hard as a player. We take a look at you on the floor. You're diving all over the place. I came to one practice. You were really leading the team emotionally. That's really the hallmark of your game, I guess.
The one thing I always said, I'll never be the best player. I'll never be the best shooter, but I'll be the hardest worker. And I think that, the best adage I can describe me, I think, is, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and I go out there and I just battle every day just to try to, to be the best I can, and that's what I'm about.
Size of the fight in the hound, I guess.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like I said, Coach Barry has that type of attitude too. It's a whole new level. I know a lot of people say, why on the radio, guys asking, why does he still play? Why does he still play? It's a whole other level. Basketball to me is a part of my life that encompasses every aspect. When I go home, I can relate to kids where the situation I was, growing up in you have to make certain decisions, and kids can relate to the basketball player or the sports athlete, and I think that, giving back to the people, it's something I feel is an obligation.
A very inspirational story. Steve St. Martin, 2 more years at Assumption, too, and he plans to make big contributions to the Hounds as they rebuild their program. Steve, thank you, and good luck the rest of the season. Halftime highlights and first half stats coming up after this on Channel 3.
Today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps.
For 35 years, Peace Corps volunteers around the world have been helping people to help themselves. And for all they put in, they come back with something even greater, a commitment to service and solving problems right here at home. Peace Corps, for 35 years, changing America and changing the world.
person you absolutely won't want to miss out on it. Yes, Life. It opens cloud breathing tubes, refreshes like no other, and you can enjoy it wherever you go. That's right. Life's so versatile, there's almost no limit to what you can do with it.
Hi, Mom.
Why, just listen to what satisfied people are already saying about their lives.
I would trade mine for anything.
I wouldn't be soaked without mine. You gotta get one of these. Life. It's so easy to use. Just follow these 2 simple directions.
Do cool stuff.
Don't do drugs. How can you get one? It's easy. There are no numbers to call, no forms to fill out, and no salesman will knock at your door. So act now, because life goes with everything. Except drugs. A message from a drug-free Navy and Marine Corps. Only 1 per customer.
Daly is going to present
42-34, the score at half. Assumption leading Quinnipiac by 8 points. And the Hounds looking pretty good. Only 2 conference wins on the season, but a chance to get number 3 if they can keep it going for the final 20 minutes this afternoon. Shaughnessy Rice leading the way in the first half. He had 11 points, but Assumption got more than just 1 guy pitching in. They had a number of people scoring. Every scorer got into the act, and a few guys off the bench. And one of the big scorers today, Kurt Holt, the big guy filling in for Dan Marshall.
Well, Kurt Holt was able to step up his performance because he was coming off the bench because of Dan. But at this particular time, he follows up on the miss. He makes himself a big presence in the middle, and he gets the 2 off the glass.
2.5 minutes to play before the second half as the Hounds talk it over in the locker room.
3, 2, 1, go.
Quinnipiac was really kept in this game by the play of John Beloin. He had 10 first half points, and here's 2 of them.
Well, John Beloin, look at the confusion down low, but he's able to get the high rebound, follows up the shot, knocks down with the jump hook, and he gets the easy kind roll.
As we take a look at some of the other numbers, Drew Cooper had a great half. The freshman 8 points, 2 of them on 3-pointers, and it was Beloin leading with 10, and Try Markey with 7 for Quinnipiac. Steve St. Martin, you just heard from him, a truly inspirational story. He just goes, and in the first half, he had 6 points and never stopped moving.
Well, look at the ball movement that gets around and is able to free up that shot. It all comes out of the rhythm. You get some good ball movement, you get in the right position, and if you're able to stroke that ball, it'll fall for you.
And we mentioned the guy who led Assumption in the first half. It was Shaughnessy Rice. He's a senior. He transferred to Assumption last year, played as a junior under Jack Rankins and Joe Esposito. Now this year, playing under Serge DeBarry, and again, putting up the points, including 11 in the first half.
Well, credit Steve Martin. He comes down, starts the fast break. Once again, it comes with that ball movement. They're able to spot up. He knows right where their strengths are, and that was 3-point land right there for Rice, and he was able to make the net snap, crackle, and pop.
Rice Krispies, right? Shaughnessy Rice. 42-34. And let's take a look at the halftime stats. Assumption 50% from the field, 75% from the line. And turnovers, Quinnipiac with 1 less than the Hounds.
Well, that's the story right there. It's the free throws percentage, but the main story has been the turnovers. Turnovers, which is Assumption cannot afford to do. But look at the rebounding department. Assumption's been able to take control of the rebounds. That means they get the possession of the ball, which allows them to take some time off the clock as well. But they've been getting some good shots in the first half.
We're going to take one more timeout. Second half action on the way right here on Channel 3. The Hounds lead it by 8 over the Braves.
Every night we report on the news that affects you.
Newswatch 3, Worcester County's only local news.
News about your community without the sensationalism.
Newswatch 3 live at 6:30 and now live at 10.
Our 10 o'clock news is up to date, late-breaking information.
We'll have the stories that will be in the paper the next day.
The award-winning Newswatch 3, 6:30 and 10, live on WGMC TV3.
Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 as Fallon Healthcare System presents For Your Health on WGMC TV3. For Your Health explores healthcare issues that affect you most, from planning nutritious meals to learning the latest cancer treatments. In addition, Fallon and the Telegram and Gazette are sponsoring a monthly For Your Health column to provide you with updated health information. And look for some exciting health promotions at the Fallon display located in the Worcester Common Fashion Outlet. For Your Health, Wednesday nights at 8 on WGMC TV3 and Mondays in the Telegram and Gazette.
Why would anybody give someone they don't know a gift? They do it because this gift saves lives. And the need for it is desperate. We need over 20,000 people to give this precious gift every day. Please give blood. There's a life to be saved right now. Call the American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE.
To 34, Ernie, and this is our vantage point, half court for this game. Assumption looking to make it a sweep. The women won in the first game, and the men looking for the second part of the doubleheader, and we are all set for second half action. Some other numbers from the first half. Foul trouble. Only one guy, really. The PA announcer erroneously said Adam Jones had 4 fouls. He actually only has 3. And as we take a look at the three-point numbers, 5 of 12, 42% for Assumption, 2 of 7, 29% for Quinnipiac.
Well, if you look at the numbers also for individual scoring leaders, Cooper's up there with 8, and also the individual rebounding leader, Cooper's there with 6. This is the gentleman that comes into the program with no high school experience at all in reference to basketball.
And that rebounding number shouldn't be a great surprise, because Cooper does lead the team in rebounds with 8.4 a game, second in scoring, 2 behind Danny Marshall, who's injured today with a broken nose. So Drew Cooper stepping it up just a bit. Assumption has the tendency to start very quickly in halves. They always seem to do it when we're here. They did it at the start of this half, in the first half, and obviously they'd like to do it again here to start the second.
Well, hopefully will rub off as at halftime they had the introduction of the 1971 regional champions in back in 71, and there's some interesting names on there, John, if you want to mention a few that came through here today, and some of them actually remained in the Worcester area.
Of course, Serge DeBarry is now coaching here at the school. He was mentioned as one of the players, and some other names people will mention. Recall Brian O'Brien. He's the head coach now at Wachusett Regional High School, also a high school teacher at Worcester South, and just plenty of other names of what was a very wonderful team back in the 71 season.
That's right. I can see Jeff Scott, 74. Jeff was he was unable to be here, but he was a forward from New Jersey, and they had Jake Jones, who was a co-captain then, and he wasn't able to be here as well. But the people that were here was Dan Small, class of 73, and Dan is now vice president at the George Washington University. Also, Mike Boylan, 73. Mike is now vice president with the Wilson Company in charge of golf promotions. So they got an illustrious group here in 71 that are doing pretty good with themselves nowadays.
Of course, Bob Boulay, he was an assistant coach in that team. He's now the principal at Worcester North High School. So plenty of successful people from that team, even down to the student manager, Bob Hunter, from Hyde Park. He's now vice president of a bank in Richmond, VA. So successful individuals had a great season and went on to do even more important things in their lives.
That's true, and it's good to see them come back, and good to see the school honor them as well, and they also get an opportunity to see a whole new Assumption team.
That season, that Assumption team at 70-71 ranked number 1 in the final UPI National poll, ranked number 1 in the final New England Division I poll. They had wins over Holy Cross, the University of Evansville, and they won the regional tournament at New Britain, Connecticut, defeating Sacred Heart 106-83, and Central Connecticut 105-77. So a lot of the games were not close.
Well, Serge DeBarry is going to come here with that class at that time and then try to bring some of that presence into the program this year. This is his first year, and considering his first year, he's doing an excellent job.
Assumption looking for win number 6 today. And as mentioned, they have already beaten Quinnipiac once this season, 80-70. And earlier today in the women's game here at Alaska, it was the Assumption women moving to 5-14, 2-8 in the conference with a win over Quinnipiac, 99-56. The Braves dropped to 2-15, 1-9 in the Northeast 10. Assumption to start the half with the basketball. And we're ready to go. In the white uniforms, moving left to right, they lead it by 8.
Well, it's good to see what happens here. They got a good crowd on hand this afternoon.
St. Martin right off the bat. Steve is up to 8. The lead is up to 10.
I'm telling you, that kid's incredible. Just as inspirational by being out there alone, knowing his background, getting a lot of attention about his heart situation, but he is definitely a leader.
Boulogne looking for points 11 and 12. No go. Two Assumption players fighting for the rebound. Miscommunication between Cooper and Hold, and they will lose it as a result.
Hey, that's understandable. They should have some communication down there, but you know something, in a situation like that, if you're a coach, if you at least got 3 players going after it, you got 2 there, that's okay.
McKenzie to the hole, no good. Whistle and a foul. The official pointing to Melvin Miller.
Melvin Miller catches himself in a foul situation.
Assumption foul on 23.
Melvin Miller in the second year actually had 11 double-figure games. His career best was 26 points against AIC last year.
McKenzie from 3. Back rim, bouncing, and a hold is going to be fouled in the plays. He went up for the rebound, and they will whistle number 43, Ryan Brown.
Well, Hold brought his rebounding pail today because he's been down there mixing it up with the Braves, and that particular time he won the battle, was able to control the ball, and now it's Assumption's possession.
Now Brown along with Adam Jones from Assumption, both with 3 fouls. With 2 back.
Melvin Miller, the junior from Memphis, Tennessee, 6'5", did a great job on the baseline with that turnaround.
St. Martin gets the ball on the tip, the steal. There's Cooper pulling up. Quick shot is short. Rebound, Livas.
He's looking for the foul on the arm there.
Bounced off Cooper's back. Another steal. Turnovers back and forth.
Greyhounds are looking to run.
Follow tip doesn't go from Hall, but the second chance from Cooper does. Drew Cooper, he has the ability to rebound quite strongly at 6'4", 180.
Hey, credit Hall with the half assist at least by keeping the ball alive, allowing Cooper to get over there.
Cooper in double digits with 10. Now 48-36. Quinnipiac getting 2 back, 18-21 to play.
Ryan Brown had to squeak that one up there because Brian plays the center position. They said he needs a little bit of work, some improvement, but he had 18 points versus Stonehill, and he's a turnaround jumper, and that time he was able to knock down 2. But he's improving on his game, and looks really good today.
Miller moves to his left. Now St. Martin to reset. Miller over Brown.
Melvin Miller, the junior. It's Miller time. The management major is starting to, he likes that baseline spot. He was just there a couple of seconds ago. I think they marked the spot on the floor from over there.
And it's turnover for the Braves. 14-point lead is the biggest of the day for Assumption. The men, that is. The women led by over 40 today.
Well, let's see if the men try to match that. I'm pretty sure they would like that.
I'd say I'd rather see the close one. We don't want another blowout.
Well, let's see if, look at this switch. Look at this cut.
St. Martin, Miller, and Cooper on with 10. Shaughnessy Rice leading the way with 11. 4 players in double digits for the Hounds. Their biggest lead now at 16.
This year's unit is a pump for scores. This is a scoring factor here.
Boulogne is first 2 of the second half. He's up to a dozen.
Boulogne, the 6'6" forward senior from Farmington, Connecticut, shoots 48% from the floor. You can see why.
St. Martin proves he can do it from 3, too. Gives the look to Coach DeBarry with his hands up in the air. Says, geez, I thought I had it. I took it and went in. I don't know if Serge was barking at him for taking it, but hey, you can't knock it. It went in, 55-38.
That's one of those shots. Go, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
Good
I like
choice.
that.
Brown trying to use the glass, no good. A rebound on the floor, hold there. Now it goes into Lloyd's hands. St. Martin diving for it. Let's remember, that guy has a heart condition. He just dove head first onto the floor.
He's been watching too many of those, Mr. Kamikaze. Look at the scramble underneath the basket. Everyone's going for the fall, and then he goes airborne. There you go, the 4th Battalion.
He'll belly flop on the hard wooden floor.
And if he kept going, he would have went right into the bench there. But you can't help but be inspired by that type of play, and that's why the Hounds got this large lead right now.
And we're going to have a rare jump ball call. Officials can't decide who to give the ball to. No, they do maybe. Some confusion in the court.
Hey, this has been more than once in the confusion department. I'm not sure if it's the referees or whatever the case may be, but they finally got it together.
Johnson controlling for the Braves. They are down 17 points and a whistle down low, and the official's going to send it the other way. Bearworth gets a foul. Mike Bearworth hasn't played a lot today. His first personal second-team foul of the half on the Braves.
Well, Mike Bearworth, a junior from Richfield, Connecticut, probably gets caught with the screen down low, and that's what he's talking about. The play is away from the ball. But at the other end, Assumption takes advantage of the turnover.
They will not count the basket, but Hold will go to the line. Or they'll inbound it, non-shooting situation. Ball before the shot.
Kurt Hold has been known as a hard worker. His work is definitely paying off, especially with that kiss off the glass on the baseline.
Hold with 6, the lead at 19 now. There's Johnson, whistle before the shot this time too.
Well, Rice probably got caught with that situation, and Rice was playing him tight. Fouls outside. Most likely they'll take it out underneath. The team has really come a long way. You can see a lot of confidence in this team.
Ball on Shaughnessy Rice, his second. Shot off the side of the backboard. Cooper behind his back loses it, but Sprawling then kicked it out of bounds. Assumption will get it back.
Assumption is trying to fast break every opportunity they can, and they've been turning up dividends on some of these fast breaks. But at the same time, if it's not there, they've been pulling it out, trying to set up some half-court offense as well.
Swing it, Shaughnessy from the corner, yes, sirree.
Shaughnessy's filling it up in the first half at one end. Now he's doing it in the second half at the other end.
Rice and St. Martin both with 13 apiece to lead the way.
Assumption now in the man-to-man pressure. It's been causing the Braves to have problems. Look at the big man, get on the floor.
Rice has Cooper with him, 2-on-1. Cooper to Rice, Rice to shoot. No.
Assumption, that's why they call them the Greyhounds. They're out on the giddy-up. Out on the fast break.
Johnson pops, gets it. 59-40.
Johnson right there cleared some space. Rich Johnson, the sophomore from Orleans, Mass, went to Milford Academy High School.
It's an 11-4 run after the Johnson jumper. Assumption putting things together. St. Martin.
Hey, look at the follow-up.
Hold has it fall into his hands and gets the gift, puts it right back in.
Well, the 6'10", 220 from Durban, Natal, South Africa. He's very agile for a big man at 6'10". He plays both ends of the floor. He's sparking the defense and sparking the offense.
Turnover on Quinnipiac, their 15th of the afternoon. Assumption altogether here in the second half, outscoring the Braves 19-6, a 15-point difference to increase that 6-point lead they had at the half. They're up by 21 now.
Well, Kurt Hold, credit him, the big man playing big dividends in this game, playing both ends of the floor, and he's not afraid to get on the floor on defense. At that time, he was able to tap it up on offense. The steam is starting to perk here on the Greyhound machine.
Make it an 8-point lead Assumption had at the half, and it's now at 21, outscoring the Braves by 13. By 15 at least now as Rice drops home 2 more points, 14 and 15, and Shaughnessy to the line. The little guy just proving he can get it done inside, too.
Jason Labandola got caught sleeping there, and with the alert Assumption team with the entry pass, Shaughnessy was able to get open, knock it off the glass with a little jump hook, and now you find himself at the line.
Shaughnessy completing the three-point play.
Greyhounds going full court with the press. That's what's caused them to turn over and get some offensive points.
Pass tipped by Hole. They can't steal it, though.
Nice rotation on the defense, but then what happens is that took at least 5 seconds off the clock, which minimizes the Braves' attempt to score.
This is Lamandola with it. Coach Bill Mecca from Quinnipiac pulling out all the stops, emptying the bench, trying to find the right combination.
Oh, good.
Lamandola.
He almost got caught up in the air with that one, put it up, and it happened to fall for him. You're right, there is a lot of rotation going in there by the sophomore from Staten Island. He's a walk-on.
Short, ball is thrown rebound. This is the floor jump ball to Quinnipiac.
Hey, you got to like the 6'10 player. Kurt Hull on the floor. I've seen him on the floor at least 3 or 4 times already on both sides of the court. He's hustling.
Officials timeout, 64-42, 13:37 on the clock. Assumption ahead on Channel 3.
Right now, in some school districts, third graders are learning how to solve this equation. And in some school districts, sixth graders are learning. But there are still some school districts where seniors will receive a diploma without ever having to face the question. Insist on high academic standards.
Shaughnessy Rice with 16, Steve St. Martin with 13, Melvin Miller with 10, and Drew Cooper with 10. Solid team effort, and it's 64-42 Assumption. As you take a look at St. Martin, will take a seat, and he has to go to the bench and have his heart rate monitored by a team trainer every once in a while, and I imagine that is what he's up to right now.
Well, probably not as fast, or maybe as fast as the way he's been getting this team sparked. This is inspiring basketball that Assumption is doing, and Serge Bavary has to be really proud of his men coming out and playing and performing the way they're doing this afternoon.
And that is, in fact, the case for St. Martin, as Susie Lasowicz, the trainer, will take care of St. Martin. Hopefully we can get a peek of that in just a second.
Basket by Ryan Brown.
Ryan Brown gets 2 back from Brown.
Brown was bumping down there. Just became in the starting center position this year for the Braves.
No, he doesn't miss. It dropped in.
Not really known as a shooter, but they've been falling down for him today. He needs some defense, and he's known to stop their best defensive player.
Brown, 2 more. He's got 4 in a row.
Well, Brown's on fire. He's on the tear. He knows his team is down, and is do or die right now.
And that's the turnover on Assumption. There you go in the corner. Shot of Steve St. Martin, and Sue Lasowicz, the trainer. He has to have his heart rate monitored, and they have to make sure it's not
over
too
or
rapid.
under. Make sure it's not over or under.
Exactly.
Keep it neutral.
He says he's grown used to it. Doesn't mind if it means he can still play his basketball. He'll certainly put up with it.
Actually, Assumption held him off for a long time, even though the doctor said he's okay to play. It was a real big decision allowing him to play, and they're still cautious about it, but he brings a big presence to this game.
12:39 on the clock right now, Ernie. 66-46 the lead is at 20 for the Hounds. As Kurt Holt comes back in and Madonna leaves.
Well, Madonna brought in some big banging minutes. He was down there banging against Andrew McKenzie, and they were really going at it.
McKenzie will shoot now. Out of bounds. Quinnipiac holding on.
I'd be surprised to see some bodies on the floor. They're really bumping down there.
And we'll get a foul on Kurt Holt. He was working against Ryan Brown.
He's giving Ryan Brown a hard time down there, showing a presence, not allowing him to get the ball easy. There's a tight defense right here. Assumption, the man pressure, and that time maybe Kurt should have fronted him. This is where he gets killed because he's playing behind them, but that particular time Ryan lost control of the basketball. do a little bit of fronting and allow the weak side to pick up the other side. It'll be a lot more effective down in the post than defending against Brown. Quinnipiac got out of that zone. Back to the man-to-man.
Larrier, foul line. Got it.
Drew Larry is showing some offensive skills. Everyone's getting into the act. So you feel a little bit less pressure when you're up with a large lead.
Quinnipiac really working the ball into Brown, hoping that's their ticket to a comeback in this game. And he does draw the foul on this play.
Well, Brown is a good inside player. He brings a huge presence, and here comes Shaughnessy out of nowhere saying, get that shot out of here. And Ryan Brown's going to go to the line.
Adam Jones back in the game. Take a look at Coach Bill Mecca. Jones playing with 3 fouls, of course. Mecca is in his 5th year and having a rough season this year.
Well, Brown's at the line, and he's been a spark for this team. Moving to the starting lineup, averaged about 2 points last year, 1 rebound as a freshman. Career high was 5 points on a few occasions. But he's back this year, and he's pulling up some points and some rebounds.
Drew Cooper with the basketball. It's a 20-point lead at 68-48.
Thompson doing a good job moving the ball around the perimeter.
Cooper spinning, shooting, not getting it to go. Kurt Hold. And a pass hits the basket.
Kurt Hold did a good job keeping the ball alive. He's got to be one of the most agile 6'10" players I've seen in a while. Yeah, close enough. Larry Bird was very agile, too. I don't care who he is. I keep him in check.
And as I understand, one of your co-stars or one of the actors or stand-ins who helped out with that commercial is in attendance today.
That's right, Eric Hallby. Where is he at? He's here. He's Assumption alumnus. I told him, get over there and join the 71 group. Actually, he got out about a year or two ago.
1-1 now. Bonus situation for the Braves. Boulogne at the line. He'll earn a second. It's 68-49.
Well, the Braves are going to have to do it, John, because right now it's like do or die. He's a returning starter. Averaged about 3 rebounds last year. Look at Kurt Holt get up there. He's been taking charge, and he's definitely earned that spot. Taking over for Dan Marshall, who's hurt for Assumption. He's been a big presence in the middle.
Holt losing it on the floor.
2-on-2. Let's see what happens.
Tremarky in the paint. Doesn't drop, but there is the foul. And I find it interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Brett Krause today. He is in the game right now for Assumption, but last year he was such a big part of the offense under Joe Esposito. However, it seems he's not as favored as much with Serge DeBarry being the coach.
Well, that's true, too. And Brett, and there's a number of other players along with Brett. There's a lot of them are walk-ons on this team, actually, and not with scholarships. And that's right. We always mentioned Brett Krause last year a number of times.
Krause was the guy getting the foul on that play as Tremarky makes the first free throw. Serge doing his best to work the officials down the stretch. 10:54 remaining, and it's 68-51.
Well, he's letting the ref know that he's a legend here, not only just a coach as well, and he wants some respect because he's in the Hound Pound. Quinnipiac pulling out all stops on defense.
And
good pressure
steal.
Same situation the women were in the first game.
Larrier skying for the rebound. He'll hold on to it over half court. Tipped out of bounds. Tremarky kept by Assumption.
Larrier coming up with a fast break. Got to be cautious with the basketball. Got plenty of time. Can't help but talk about Kurt Holt as well as St. Martin. They've been the big keys for this game. There's Kurt Holt again.
He's done that a handful of times tonight.
He's really come along from last year. When last time we saw him, they say he's a project, and he needs to work on his game, but the guy is always on the floor. He's in the action.
Boyne, 2 back. He has 14 now.
Surprised the Braves having full court press against Assumption. There's not a lot of time left, and they're down. They got to make things happen.
Under 10 to play. Jones from 3.
Both teams like the fast break, of course.
Brown inside. It's tipped home. Offensive goaltending, though.
Little close there.
And Mecca does not believe it. Coach Mecca. Let's check the replay and get a second peek.
He is not happy at all. It's very close. Holding position. And here he comes. Right there. Ugh. Maybe in Europe he would have got away with that one. Mecca needs all the baskets he can get, and he's working that sideline.
Larry, the inbounds pass, doesn't have a lot of room to work with, and going to travel on Melvin Miller.
Yeah, that's one of the Cardinals' sins of basketball is never take the basketball out underneath the basket, nor pass it underneath the basket as well. Something like that could happen and get a turnover. And Mr. Sparkplug is back out there.
Quinnipiac trying to gather some momentum with 9:23 to play.
St. Martin comes from behind. Looks like he got ball in hand. But I think the hand's part of the ball. That's what he was trying to claim. Or at least a jump ball. Tough foul right there because what happens is it stops the clock and it puts the Braves at the line.
And 3 shots for Tremarky as he was attempting the 3-pointer. Makes the first. This could be a big swing. Makes the second. 70-55 now.
Well, he shot a sizzling 81% from the line last year. 38% from three-point land. Well, the guy's a good shooter.
3 for 3. He's up to 9 points. 10-2 run by the Braves. Cut the lead to 70-56. Long pass Krause. All alone. Oh, it's the bunny.
Krause is a little rusty, seems as though. Needed those 2.
3-pointer would have been a killer. Another long pass. St. Martin diving again. Wow. No fear in that guy, Steve St. Martin.
Oh my goodness.
70-56, 9:07 on the clock. You're watching college basketball on Channel 3.
Rabies in New England has reached epidemic proportions within the raccoon population. It is estimated that 2/3 of cats and 1/3 of dogs in this area are either not vaccinated for rabies or are improperly vaccinated. Your pets may bring this fearsome disease into the safety of your home and family. Vaccinate both your dogs and cats. It's the law.
Back at Assumption, go AC, go Assumption College. And so far, they're doing just fine, up 14.
That's right. There's joy back in Mudville, as they say here at Assumption. There's something to cheer about this year. They're getting some wins, and they're getting a lot of enthusiasm. And they got a good crowd here this afternoon.
And I'm just about positive we have not had an Assumption win on Channel 3 in 2 or 3 years. It'll be nice to get one tonight if this holds up.
Hey, back-to-back as well.
Sprawling, he traveled.
They're looking for big things out of McKinley. McKinley hasn't really got off today.
18 turnovers now for Quinnipiac. And a foul on 22 blue for Quinnipiac, Pat Patchen.
Quinnipiac foul number 22.
And the official saw that from all the way across the court.
Personal, the 5th team
Or at
foul.
least he claims to.